I'm going to tell you a story you've never heard before. It concerns the murders of my ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her young friend, Ronald Goldman. Forget everything you think you know about that night, because I know the facts better than anyone. This is one story the whole world got wrong.
O.J. Simpson giving a bombshell interview never before seen back in 2006, revealing his claims and his hypothetical account of the night of the murders of ex-wife Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman back in June 1994. Simpson was acquitted in a highly publicized trial, but was found responsible in a civil suit. This never before seen footage will air this Sunday on Fox at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a special called O.J. Simpson, The Lost Confession. Here to tell us more is executive producer Terence Wrong. Good to see you, Terence. What do we learn that we didn't know before?
Well, he gives you details about what he was thinking, his emotional mindset on the day of the murder, how angry he is at Nicole, why he's angry at her, and why he thinks he's going over to the house. We also learn all about their relationship, and that it was an abusive relationship from very, very early on, with, nearly a dozen incidents that were reported to police, but not much was done about them.
Yeah, I want to get to the sound on tape that we have of O.J. Simpson. It's perhaps the strangest portion of the interview. Simpson talks about this hypothetical friend he calls Charlie. He claims Charlie went with him to confront Nicole, and that Charlie handed him the knife. I think this is what he's saying. But instead of using the name Charlie, O.J. starts using the word I in the soundbite. Watch.
In the book, the hypothetical is
Charlie.
Charlie came by and mentioned something about what was going on at her house. I don't know why you had been by Nicole's house, but it told me you wouldn't believe what's going on over there. I remember thinking, well, whatever's going on over there has got to stop.
So can you explain this more?
Well, the theory is that O.J. gave us some true facts and some false facts. True facts, there was a knife, it was a bloody crime scene. False facts, there was an accomplice, his name was Charlie. There's no evidence of a Charlie anywhere in the prosecution case or in the police reports. So is Charlie his alter ego, as Christopher Darden, the former prosecutor of the trial, suggests? Or was there really a Charlie? Is it an attempt to mislead? We can't really tell what his psychology is.
Yeah, so, we're told Simpson lapses into tenses that don't sound speculative during the interview. He continues to use the term I interchangeably, such as obviously I must have taken a glove off after the killing. I mean, was this suspicious to you? Does this support the prosecution's theory of the case?
The location supports the prosecution's theory of the case.
What do you mean?
The fact that he's outside the house, that it's bloody, that it's night, that it's in that
But he's saying
timer,
all those things.
That he's saying that he's there, even whether he's with an accomplice or not. But then he had other facts that don't. The prosecution said he was never outside having a conversation with Ron Goldman and Nicole Simpson at the same time, as he alleges. The prosecution says Simpson stabbed Nicole, Ron Goldman arrived, and then Simpson stabbed Ron Goldman. In this scenario that he paints, the timing's a little different.
So in the tape, Simpson also refers to blacking out. As you point, the vast amount of blood that was spilled. He's saying it was horrible and having been fed up with Nicole Brown. Can you talk a little bit about that, about how he claims he was just fed up with Nicole?
Well, he implies, he doesn't say in the interview these words, but we know from other things he said in the past that he thought she was having group sex and doing drugs in her house while the kids were in the house, and he thought this kind of behavior had been going on for some time. And he claims that he had heard, he'd been told this by a close friend of hers, by an actress he'd met on a film set, and that he did what any father would do. He went over there to stop it and talk to her.
But is he talking as Charlie or as himself there?
Well, he talks as himself there, because when he uses the word hypothetical, it's only on the night of when he drives over to Nicole's. Everything before that and after that in this interview is not hypothetical. He's just telling you about his life and his thinking and the relationship. Terence
Wrong, executive producer of O.J. Simpson, Lost Confession, airing this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate you coming in.